Aloha, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Casual Master Quest. It's episode 56 coming out to you, baby. June 20. It's going to be July 1st for this. This is going to be the first podcast of July 1st.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Independence something. A happy day that we signed a Declaration of Independence.
Canada Day, Tyler. It's on the 1st of July.
Okay, no, that's totally fair. You get July 1st, but then we're gonna get the rest of the week too, America. Okay,
and you're gonna let us know. You even in Vancouver, you let us know. We see the fireworks starting up all the way from the 2nd, 4th.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't fire right off of fucking Mount Baker at that point with how much they want to shoot it.
America, bitch.
It scared the shit out of me. I was in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden, I see lightning. I'm like, what the fuck? It's not even raining. All of a sudden, I just hear this huge boom. It's like, Jesus Christ. I got an empty trailer. That whole explosion sound hit my trailer, shook my trailer behind me, reverberated, and then came out the other way. And it's just that huge sound just shaking the whole damn truck scared the shit out of me. It's like, what the hell? And then they kept doing it. And it's like, okay, guys, it's still June. Gotta relax. I know state law allows you to do it, right at midnight tonight, but it worked out fine. Nick, you are my podcast partner. That's Nick. This is Tyler. We're going to have a fun party tonight. All sorts of good stuff that came through. But let's talk about our week. Nick, how's it been going, buddy?
Same old. I'm getting ready for my trip to Florida, to Orlando for Guardian Con. So I've been doing 2 weeks worth of schoolwork in such a short period of time, just so I can enjoy my time off. So I don't have to take my laptop with me or whatever and deal with anything while I'm there. But beyond that, I finally picked up some new shoes. And if you're interested to see how well worn my old shoes were, please go ahead to my Twitter profile.
I saw it. It was bad.
Yeah, they're well worn in. Because I'm very picky about sneakers. I have an arch in my foot, right? As like a lot of other people do, so I need the support. Growing up, I used to wear a lot of...
don't everybody have arches? Isn't the argument if you don't, then you'd be flat-footed, which is bad?
Yeah, and there are plenty of flat-foot people. I know plenty of flat-foot people.
Okay. They're good people. Yes, I know. We're celebrating flat people month.
Tyler, we need to recognize them.
We coexist. Coexist with the flat-footers.
I used to wear a lot of flat earthers. Yeah, let's not talk about that. I used to skateboard a lot when I was younger, in my early teens, and so I used to have a lot of skateboard sneakers, specifically made for skateboarding, and I bought over that habit when I moved to Canada, and I bought a pair of shoes. I bought a pair of sneakers, running shoes, on a trip that I went with my family a couple of years ago, and ever since then I can't go back to flat-footed shoes unless I'm going to the gym, which I don't do anymore. And so these sneakers that I've had now for about 3.5 years, are well worn through with my toes peeking out and so on my right foot. So I finally went and bought a pair of shoes that I've been looking for 3 weeks now. Not looking for a specific pair, but just because I'm very picky, and sneakers nowadays, especially running shoes, are very ugly.
Now, Nick, what is your average budget for a pair of shoes?
Because I use them because I only have 3 or 4 pairs of shoes and I wear the one primarily, I'm willing to spend up to $200-$300 because they're treat my feet right. I'm going to be using them all the time, and as long as I get full use out of them, I don't mind spending money.
Up until I discovered that I can buy shoes online, thank you, Amazon, my shoe option became very limited as I got bigger and bigger feet. Once I hit around 13, there was only certain styles that my local shoe stores would offer me.
Right.
And even Walmart, they will have size 14s, occasionally 14 wides, which is what I wear. But I usually get my choice between 2 different shoes, and they last about 2 months just because, you pay $14, that's what you expect kind of shit. But ever since I started wearing work boots, paying the big bucks just to make sure I get something high quality, that's steel toe and all that stuff. I totally understand how that shit can last for years. In fact, I think the only way they fall apart is if I'm too stubborn to untie them and loosen them up, and I'll accidentally rip them off. Yeah, I'll rip the boot from the heel slowly, just by putting my foot at the back of the heel and trying to rip my leg out.
Yep.
I do see another thing on the show notes here that I'm a little bit concerned about. Do you care to explain what the hell that means?
Oh yeah, no, I've been a little plugged up the last 2-3 days for God knows why. So I've just been increasing my fiber and water intake, and now I can finally poop again. So I just want to report that because I think it's important that we let our fans know that I can now poop again. Yeah.
Well, congratulations first
you.
off. Sometimes you need to unplug.
Yep.
Most people go camping around this time of year, but that's good. Now you can make your Constitution saving throws without fear.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about having being in the locale of a bathroom in case of an emergency evacuation. But it's good that this happened before my trip. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed my trip as much if I felt like this going on it. So yeah, if you're eating or if talk of stuff like this it weird grosses you out, I'm sorry, but at least I didn't go into too much detail.
One of the greatest things my father and one of my previous students, if you want to call them that, for truck driving, his name was Scott Louie. Shout out to that man. Just maybe coincidentally, or maybe it was, it's a constant fact of life for truck drivers. They always tried to convince me to buy one of those 10-gallon buckets that, those big old buckets with the handle, and then buy one of those swimming noodles that you have in the pool, cut it up, and then use that around the edge of it so you could use it as the emergency pit stop.
Right.
And then, just slap a garbage bag. I could never, ever bring myself to do that. If there's an emergency and a dark time in my life, I'll never talk about it, but I don't need to be in comfort if I'm that bad out.
Right.
No, thank you.
I mean, you could do that, except save the pool noodle, but you can also buy like these little foldable chairs where the seat is a toilet seat. So for a little bit more comfort in an emergency situation.
Nick, I'm a big guy. What's the chances of me sitting one of those things, trying to pop a squat out, in northern Michigan in the boonies, and all of a sudden that thing just collapses on me?
And you're not paying the right price.
Yeah, apparently not. Get wood blocks to hold that sucker up. Oh man, I gotta crawl one out. Where's the logs?
But
gotta get this bad boy supported.
But that's been my week, really. As a reminder, I will not be on next week's episode. I'm going to be away in Florida, and I quickly just wanted to. I know we did a whole thing about it last week, and I'm not going to go too long, but I just want to talk about some of the developers that are there, going to be at the convention, at least the smaller ones, because I think it's really cool in the way the thing's grown. So we've got Bungie and Gearbox 2K making an appearance with Destiny and Borderlands, and we've got Rare and Respawn coming with Sea of Thieves Arena and a Apex Legends tournament that they're going to be hosting at the thing as well, that they announced quite recently.
Nice.
And then we've got a lot of indie devs that are coming. We've got 505 Games, Smash Games, Cyber Dream, Zenith Edge, The Commission, and Level Up Academy. Now, I'm just going to go quickly through some of these. 505 makes Portal Knights.
Oh, wait.
They did Portal Knights. Apparently they did Terraria.
I think they published it.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, they also might have been in charge of the console releases, but I kind of goofed up here because you said 505 and I immediately said Halo, but I realized that is not that I meant that's 343.
Yeah. Yeah, 505 is a big publisher and developer. They've done Stardew Valley, Don't Starve, Hellblade, No Man's Sky, Portal Knights, Terraria, Warhammer, Vermintide 2, Payday 2, Gems of War. So that's going to be interesting. Then we've got Smash Games, who've done Littlewood. Littlewood is a relaxing RPG that takes place after you've saved the world. It's on Steam in early access, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch. It looks interesting, and I think I'll have a chance to actually try it out on the games floor. Then going to Cyber Dream, it looks like they're a VR studio. They've done something called Emmerholt and Virtual Battlegrounds. Apparently one of the first the big VR BRs. It's funny to say.
VR.
Zenith Edge. I can't see anything specifically that they've done. but they look like an interesting studio. They seem to be blending a lot of photorealistic elements with a lot of sci-fi elements. But give them a shout out. In development, Zenrai. That's one of their listed games. XENRAI. Then the Commission and Level Up Academy, I can't find anything on them properly, but I'm just the way the convention has grown from a bar meetup to now incorporating people from the industry, but also giving a place for indie devs to showcase their shit. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited to try out a few things. So I should have some things to talk about when I come back, at least
Good
on
deal.
the game side. Yeah,
I hope so, for both our sake.
yeah.
We went there. We played Destiny.
Well, I'm gonna be doing that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
All right, but yeah, that's enough out of me.
All right, good deal. Over my end, we did get the portable AC. Everything got installed properly. Although I did have to face the wrath of my wife at the expense of managing to get the AC installed in the bedroom instead of the living room. She was not too happy with that, but eventually I think she forgave me. I'm not sure. Good question. I also am trying to go under the delusion that the Havoc RP server is going to keep going, and I'm still trying to do like basic little bit trainings that I can do by myself to help understand the life of a sheriff. It's weird enough because I realize I know absolutely nothing about the real life world of the cop. And so as a result, I've been listening to Cop Life podcast. Shout out to them. I talked with a friend who's also a police officer. And then I decided to email somebody, Nick. And I think it was a poor decision. Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because he is the director of public safety. I'm pretty sure he's one of the big head honchos of all the police forces in my area. I didn't fully realize that, admittedly, because I was reading about the cop ride-along program that does exist in my area, and most of the time they only allow ride-alongs if you're a prospect for some sort of law enforcement position, like a law enforcement officer, dispatch, etc. But there can be exceptions made by the director of public safety. So, what great idea that I have besides, emailing him fucking directly, telling him my sob story. And he hasn't returned that response. So, I will give you an update if he ever has the kahunas to respond back. But, I gave him my story saying, I didn't tell him I want to ride along with one of your officers because I want to learn to be a better one in Grand Theft Auto 5. I might have left that detail out. That, I mean, at this point, I don't even think that's the case anymore. I want to be, I want to, support our cops and all that shit.
I mean, it's not a far cry from the truth when you're like, hey, listen, I just want to learn what it's like to be, what cops do on a daily basis. What's kind of procedures, what's kind of the ins and outs, like what am I allowed to learn? Like, I think you can just chalk it up to having a curiosity on how that works, and you can get away with the little white lie there.
I know there's a lot of people that have different political views, and I try to avoid, going wild on my own. But I was always neutral when it came to any of the situations that happen, between police officers and any other various factions of the United States. But that's only because typically the news likes to give us a very one-sided view on how things are going because they want to anger somebody. And I'm starting, get my eyes open a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'm really going to be the guy that, wears the blue stripe and all that, but I still want to support our local officers, the ones that are doing a great job and are upholding, integrity and respect for everybody. And I think it would be cool to understand, the local flavor of my police officers around here versus the one that's currently living over in Scandinavia trying to pretend that they're an American police officer over on Grand Theft Auto. So it's like either I'm going to have the Hollywood version of the cop people hanging around me, or I could actually understand what a real life cop is like. And
right.
Yeah. In the meantime, I starting to realize that the chair I'm sitting in, it's older than I am. It's starting to fall apart. It's seeing its wear and tear. I've been using it for quite a while, but it's starting to get a little wobbly. Thread's starting to get bare, a little faded, and I'm trying to get a new chair, Nick. The problem is, though, I got a fairly decent gaming chair or executive chair sitting in the back, but I had to stop using it because there's a couple of knobs and shit, underneath the chair. Your standard thing to raise it, lower it, give it a little lean back, and all that stuff. And occasionally, the lever likes to pop out that holds the body from
like it locks
falling
in
backwards.
position from yeah.
And so there's been times where, I'll adjust a little bit, it pops out, and then, playing League of Legends, all of a sudden I'll just pop and fly comically backwards, legs in the air and everything.
Right.
And it was funny the first time because, you see me just, do the old, ah! But after the third or fourth time, I'm like, okay, this is actually getting kind of old. And I switched to this old sturdy butte that's, nice solid oak with clawfoot legs and stuff. Well, I discovered, I could just as easily drill a screw into the thing that slides in and out just to stop it from popping. It's not, rocket science. But as I sat in, it's like, this doesn't provide the support I'm used to. I'm used to the straight up chair that, it's been very firm and, rugged, but it's treated me well. And so I think I might have to go to whatever the local equivalent of Goodwill is around here, like Cat's Meow or whatnot. See if I can't find a yield chair, because really don't have any problems with this. And honestly, anybody that sits in front of the computer regularly, getting something that is like a step level between a wooden kitchen chair and a lazy boy, aka this, it's really nice. It does the right treating to my lower backside and my back. Right.
And I'd like to speak to that. When I got this chair, my mom gifted it to me. I was looking at more posture and ergonomics than like supreme comfort. Like, it's not the most comfortable chair that I have, but it's been good on my back and on my lower like around my spine area, just like at the top side of my ass. Because on my old chair, like sitting for so long and in like such bad posture, it would just make everything hurt. But now this is not the most comfortable. I'd give it like maybe a 6.5 or 7 for comfort, but because of how all the knobs and levers and how much I can adjust it, it's kept me in like a good posture, and like it's taken away the pressure from all the wrong areas. So I can definitely appreciate anybody who's looking for something that's more comfortable and a little bit more sturdy. Teach their own. I'm not that you would fall into this. I'm just gonna just as a general, don't fall into the trap of thinking that you need a gaming chair, because a lot of them are overpriced for no reason.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking for invest into or at least look into investing into like an ergonomic office chair, because a lot of them are made for workers to sit and work for long periods of time, like office employees. Like
Brandon really tried convincing me to get in one of those fancy gaming chairs, all the fancy colors and stuff like that with different kinds of supports, but I just didn't trust my weight with something like that. And so the high executive office chair that you can get on Amazon, it's like $130-$150. That's what I end up getting, and it does the job just fine. It provided all the support I needed. The only thing I don't like is the fact that I lean back. Like, I'm not used to leaning back in this chair, so it freaks me out. So I gotta, maybe get back and get used to it. Nick in the chat is suggesting get chairs for a car and then turning it into an office chair. I'm not against that idea, actually.
Just get a good old like fucking, I don't know, pull one right out of an F-150. Just fucking drill.
As long as I have good armrests, I'm okay with that. That'd be fine with me.
The funny story about my first roommate, his name is Mustafa. He was also a wider individual, wider than myself. And when he was looking for a chair, he wanted something comfortable, and we went to IKEA and found one of those like really nice, $50-$60 chairs that he just was going to use for the time being. But the issue was, that the armrest would get in the way, and it wasn't a comfortable fit when he'd sit in it. So he bought that chair, and then he sawed off the armrests.
Why would he have to saw them off? He had to put the damn thing together himself anyways, didn't he?
I think with that chair, the armrest
Don't
came
tell me he
already.
got a chair that wasn't completely assembled. That's unnatural. Can't trust a product from IKEA assembled.
No, it wasn't completely assembled, but the armrest came attached to the seat, and he had to attach the back to the armrest and the seat. So the armrests were already attached, so he just sawed them off.
The nice thing about this chair, I'm not going to move the camera, but is because the armrest is low, so I can put my arms right on it just fine. And then I got my TV tray that holds the keyboard and mouse. I just put that right in my lap, which also rests on the armrest. It's at perfect level. And so it's just a really comfortable setup instead of being arms forward on the keyboard tray and all that stuff. And it's done me all sorts of wonders. It's so nice. So nice. Beyond that, though, we end up having to delay the podcast because I got home at a normal, slightly later time just because it was me by myself. And I had a wedding to go to today, which meant I had to get up. It was for my cousin. Congratulations to him and her, of course. And by the time it was over, I realized I did not get enough sleep at all. Ended up having to take a nap, and here we are. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a little bit more alive. Got some more pep to my step. A little pepper to my chili. A little spice to the curry.
Are you just saying that because I'm here?
I like spice in my soup. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I like it hot occasionally.
Okay.
Like Cajun? Cajun spice? No? Alright, what have you been playing, Nick?
That was pretty bad. Just beyond the usual, just some CTR.
Okay.
Yeah, got in. It was just fun. I think we talked about this. Like CTR, they did a bang up job.
Yeah, they did.
Finished the campaign and just started working on some of the time challenges. I realized as I'm playing that I've done some of these before, but I never really understood what I was doing with the original. And now I kind of know what I'm doing, and so it all makes sense. Like when I was playing the original, I was doing the time challenges. I think my thought process then was, well, why are there boxes and why aren't I racing against anybody? You know?
You're just facing yourself.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's at least maybe in the original, I don't know, or maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but I'm pretty sure there was a ghost mode where you do there is, right? Yeah,
you would race against essentially a faster version or whatever the fastest time was of yourself, and you see if you can beat them or figure out what you can do to beat,
right. That. Yeah, so there's some things that I learned about the game. For example, in case this wasn't clear to anybody because it wasn't to me, this was and I also didn't know that there were more racing games, there were more CTR games after the original, but this is a combination of 3 different games, Tyler, which is why when you mentioned last week there are some characters that you didn't know were in the game or didn't think were in the original, is because these are characters from the other games as well.
Right. I did find out later, like once I started looking at the maps, and it was like, oh, this is from the one that's from the PlayStation 2 version. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, it does have the whole aesthetic is meant for the first one, but they did include all the maps and stuff from the other ones, which is cool. Cool as shit.
Yeah, and I think they did that in a way that didn't take away from the original. So I appreciated that for sure. I had fun with it. I think the hardest boss in the entire game was Pinstripe.
Pinstripe was the one that drops the bombs behind him, right?
Yeah, on the air track. Essentially, I think the CTR equivalent of Rainbow Road, is it? That's the one that...
I mean, it might as well be. It's fucking awful to navigate on it for the first time, especially.
But that's all I've been doing. I really like... I with no surprise, I really like Coco's Park, because it's just your standard race track.
that is the
oval
beach track essentially. It's straight to the point. It's family friendly. Nick in the chat's asking, how many did Naughty Dog make? Because I only know of 2 Crash Team Racings, but was there 3?
I'm pretty sure there was a 3rd one, and I'm gonna look this up right now. Because Crash Team Racing is an amalgamation of Crash Nitro Kart and Crash Tag Team Racing. Like at least the remaster. That it's an amalgamation of CTR, Nitro Kart, and Tag Team Racing, bringing characters and maps from those games. But I think Crash Team Racing was the only one made by Naughty Dog, and then Nitro Kart was made by somebody else.
Okay. I don't think I remembered Nitro Kart. I do remember Crash Tag Team Racing being a game that came out. I did not actually buy it, but
I didn't play Nitro Kart either. So Naughty Dog's involvement with the Crash Bandicoot series stopped, I think, after Crash Bash or Crash Team Racing. Let's see here. Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2, Crash Bandicoot 3, CTR, and that's it. So CTR was their last Crash game.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's a final Naughty Dog creation.
And that was all the way in 1999. My goodness.
Yeah. 20 years.
And then after that, Naughty Dog went on to the Jack series, and then the Uncharted series, Last of Us, and then more Uncharted and more Last of Us.
Wait, okay, Last of Us. I'm going to say, was CTR the last good game that Naughty Dog made?
I mean, you're the one.
Opinion.
You're the one pushing for Uncharted, so it can't be.
I'm just trolling, man. I'm just trolling.
Fucking idiot.
I am. Any other games you've been playing?
No, but it's so over the next few weeks, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. Apart from my travel, my school semester, this semester set up where I have no finals. So everything's going to happen all the way until the end of July. So that's when the busy period's going to hit. But Eugene is leaving in a couple of days, the day after this episode comes out, actually. And he's going to be gone for a month and a half. I'm going to be alone for a month and a half, meaning I'll have the PlayStation 4 on my own for a month and a half. So I will definitely be picking up God of War at least. So in the time that Eugene's gone, the one game that I will be playing and finishing is God of War.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you gotten it yet, or?
No, not yet. I'll pick it up eventually.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's at a very decent price right now.
Well, I saw the physical copy at a local game store for like $30, so I'm not too worried about price.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Good deal. Oh man, it would be exciting to have you finally play one of the games like that, or the one I've been trying to hype you into getting. But that's okay. I totally respect God of War as being.
I already did one of your hype games, Tyler. You got to that's on cooldown now. You have to give me another year before I pick up the next hype game.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure you got hyped into the game, but you just didn't own the console for it. So I had to spend 6 months trying to finance it essentially.
And I played it, and I love it, and I see no problem here, Tyler.
Okay.
And I'm now excited for the second part that's going to come out probably next year. So
I am just saying, for the record, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a great game. You should give it a shot.
Oh, we're not talking about that. Because I will not touch that game, and I won't touch that game.
Oh, really?
No, it's too fucking scary. What do you mean I'm not touching that game?
Yeah, it is kind of spooky, isn't it?
It's very spooky, not kind of spooky. I've seen gameplay, Tyler. I couldn't touch it.
That's right. There was that segment that scared the shit out of me because I was in a dark room with headphones on. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. It's a beautiful game. Props to the developers, props to the people. Like, fantastic work. I'm not touching it.
But Horizon Zero Dawn, Nick, is that too scary for you because there's robots?
Yeah, no, I'm terrified of robots.
Oh, and matriarchs, that's got to be scary for you.
Nobody wants to put women in power. Who knows what'll happen?
Apparently a mountain does, according to that game.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, Tyler?
I also got to play a little bit of CTR, not nearly as much as you, but I did get to play with my other friend, Nick. Had a good night with that. The only thing that kind of threw me off was you had to play with other people in order to have the map selection be randomized, essentially. Otherwise, if I was just playing with him privately and a bunch of other computer players, which was apparently our preferred way of doing it, we had to manually select the map instead of saying, just randomize the shit for us. But had a good time with that. I did finish Katana Zero. It was one of those games where I got a good part of it, and it's like, oh, I'll probably touch this sometime, never. Even though it was a good game, it's just one of those games where it's like, oh, I'll put it on the back burner.
Right.
Burner.
Back burner.
I'm trying to think of like Deep South. George Washington. I'm gonna get a car wash. Anyways, but I did beat it, and I understand your viewpoint on the whole thing now. Because A, it was kind of short. And B, it left a lot of fucking cliffhangers, just so much.
And then when you load up that last level, like that you can go to, there's like doors, in case you haven't done that, where when you go to interact with them, it says you can't open these doors yet.
So what do you think? DLC?
100% DLC.
Second game? Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what form of DLC, whether it's going to be paid or free, but it makes sense with the way they've set it up that they're gonna include some of that. I know there's now a timed mode or challenge mode where you can run through all of them again or something.
Speedrun mode.
Speedrun mode or something. Yeah, I'd honestly be surprised if we didn't see that pop up this year or at least next year on GDQ. But no, Katana Zero, fantastic fucking game, worth the money. I think for the amount of fun. It is a short game, but the amount of fun you get out of it, honestly, it's a good deal.
Yeah. It was definitely a fun game. It was hard as shit for me too, especially whenever, because I was playing it as the passenger in a semi-truck that was moving. So anytime there was a bump and I would die, I'd just like kind of stop and I'd just kind of turn my head and stare angrily at the guy who had absolutely no fault in the situation. I blame Michigan for their potholes, but at the same time, it's like
somebody had to take the blame.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it certainly wasn't my lack of skill. No, sir. What do you think I am? Normal?
Oh, also, I'll quickly say CTR in handheld mode on the Switch is dog shit. It's so difficult to play. It's really hard. So having a controller is nice. Also, the load times for the Switch are horrible.
They're not too bad for the PlayStation 4. It felt like a standard time, if not quicker.
Yeah,
I can see it where on the Switch, it takes a little bit longer.
In handheld mode, the load times was about, I'd say, 45 seconds. When docked, it was anywhere between 20 and 30 seconds. So that's my only issue for Switch, CTR on the Switch. Yeah.
I'm very sorry that you got it on the Switch. I mean, it's the only console that you had that could play it. But
yeah, I mean, I knew Eugene was gonna get the PS4, but I wanted to own it. And I didn't want to get it on PC. I wanted to keep some of that nostalgia intact. So I felt like getting on the Switch seemed like a good choice.
That's fair. That is totally fair. Beyond that, though, I did try to play a little bit more Cadence of Hyrule because I did realize, the replayability of it. But even in fixed beat mode, when you're trying to like strategize and try to keep in beat, because I still try to keep in beat, to the song just in case, when I finally make the jump back. That is not a game I can play while moving in the truck. Like I gotta be sitting straight and all that stuff. And finally, Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay for the Havoc roleplay server. There's been a lot of talk, big spreadsheet saying, "Hey, this is what's been fixed. What's gonna be fixed and all that." Once we pull this big red lever over here, we're gonna have a brand new server with all sorts of good stuff. You're gonna be excited. Good news. Problem is, though, they still haven't announced when they're gonna, reset or wipe this server, so it's still fucking dead. So, unfortunately, I'm, just sitting here waiting, hoping that the big jump makes it, and all the people start coming back. Because there's even people that trained me that are quitting. They're saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not putting enough time on. I don't feel like I should bear any responsibility of checking in on this. I'm not gonna have fun with this anymore. Peace." Which is totally understandable. I can respect that. It's just, fuck, the waiting game is bad. And it's like, my big worry is I'm going to have like a Breath of the Wild situation where they delay it so long that I'm going to tell myself this is the best game ever. Except Breath of the Wild, they actually kind of paid off. I don't think the Havoc RP is going to do that, though.
Well, I mean, we're 1 week out of your 2-week waiting period down, done with.
That's true. That would mean that if they don't have it up by next weekend, I would be signing out.
And you'd be looking for a new server.
Ooh, maybe.
If you wanted to continue RP or take a break from it at least, but yeah.
Yeah, because I bought 2 games that I really want to try sometime this week. And if they're as good as I think they are, Havoc RP, you might be in trouble, buddy. So watch out. Thankfully, one of the games I did not play this week, Nick, is fucking Sea of Thieves.
Oh, no, wait. But you know what? We did together, Tyler. Even though it was fairly brief. You re-downloaded Destiny 2.
I did play a little bit of Destiny 2 with you and then by myself.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me that I did in fact play Destiny 2 again. And because I had the season pass and I bought all the good shit when I first wanted to play with Nick, but then we never played together, he eventually, fell to guilt tripping and then started, playing with me. Thank you, Nick. And wow, I realized I'm way in over my head than when I first started with Forsaken. There's a lot more to be had, but thankfully, it's more quality of life things. I think that, and it's the same standard. You do the shit, you grind, try to get the good stuff. because I don't have anything or people the raid with right now, so I really can't do anything that will get that shit pumped up fairly quickly. But yeah, I'm still having fun shooting stuff. I'm still trying to find that one weapon I like. I have no idea what that weapon is yet. I'm guessing it's probably going to be a pulse rifle. I really miss my graviton lance, man. Ugh.
Well, I mean, you know how you get your weapons back?
What's that?
Play the game.
Yeah, I suppose I shouldn't wait until I got the cross saves and all that and just switch to my other account. But yeah, sure, though, that's fair. That's fair, Nick.
That was the most dickish thing I've said in a while, but no, like Destiny's always one of those games where if it captures you, it captures you. Despite all the problems, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't, kind of thing. So the issue has also always been kind of like timings don't usually sync up. So we'll figure it out one day.
One day, man. One day. So we have to. Sorry, I was just talking with the chat. We don't have to do anything. We can fucking sit here and talk and do whatever the hell we want. We have a modular segment that's a little bit unique. First time we got to do something like this. We're going to do some fan mail, Nick. We're going to answer some fan mail.
Nice.
In fact, it was the person I was talking with in the chat. We actually have an email from one of our people that wasn't a scam from Portugal. And it was Nick. So our email question is as follows. Nick from Michigan writes, and I'll try to do it in as cheesy a voice as I can work out here. Recently, I went and sought out an old PlayStation 2 game, Ace Combat's The Balkan War, and had to pay $70 for it just to ensure it came with full case and manual. I've also done this with another game for PlayStation 1 called The Misadventures of Trombone, which ran me $160 change. It's got me wondering, are there any classic games that you both would be willing to shell out a premium for just to have in your collection, and why? Also, if you've already done this, what games are this?
Thank you for that reading.
No problem. I don't even know what kind of accent or voice inflection that's supposed to be.
I'd also like to point out that Nick apparently lives in Arizona, and on the show notes you've listed it as Nick from Michigan.
He was born in Michigan, so I know he's in Arizona.
Listen, I'm just trying to get the facts straight.
No, I guess that makes sense. When people write fan mail, they don't write, "Hi, I'm born from here, but I live in here," and we reference where they're born from. Okay, fine. Nick from Arizona. Yeah, hot hell, old person retirement state motherfucker. Thank you for your email.
Thank you. Tyler, are there any games like this for you? I feel like you've already done that, but I don't know how much you've paid for them. The most recent I can think of was, well, maybe not a game per se, but was for the Game Boy. The Game Boy Color that you picked up a couple of months ago.
I mean, I saved money by buying a Game Boy Color shell. I'm assuming you're talking about that when I did the renovation project, and I now have a Game Boy Color sitting up there at the top. By taking the old Game Boy that my parents had given me from a garage sale like 5-6 years ago, and then I gutted that and then put it into the shell of the game Game Boy Color that I had. Technically, I didn't pay a premium. I tried saving money by doing that, and it worked completely, actually. I mean, you see all the shit that's behind me. It's a lot of stuff, I collected over the years. Did I pay a premium for any of that? No. In fact, I'm actually in the opposite situation where I bought games that I really liked and people want them later and that they're willing to pay a premium. But because I bought it at the normal price, I, kind of skated out. A lot of example is most of the GameCube games I have. A lot of them will run anywhere between $40 and $200, depending on what games. I got the Legend of Zelda Master Quest. I got the Legend of Zelda collection, all that stuff, where it's 4 games on 1 disc. Wind Waker is not as expensive and all that, but games like Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance was a very expensive and hard to get for the GameCube in my areas, especially, and people are willing to pay a shit ton of money. But thankfully, I bought it when I saw it for $30 at a game, store, so it worked out for me.
Right.
What about you, Nick? Have you ever paid out like big bucks?
No. Trying to I don't do collector's editions a lot. Like the most I've ever spent on a game so far was when I spent 130 Canadian pre-ordering Destiny 2 with the annual pass, originally, for year one. So Destiny 2 base game, Curse of Osiris, and Warmind. I haven't shelled out any big money for collections or with the steel books or any memorabilia, but well, not even but also to address the question more, when we're talking about maybe older retro games, majority of the games that I would pay money to play I have. So did I show you while you were here my PS2?
Yes, you showed me your cardboard box full of PlayStation 2 games.
Right. Yeah. So those are the games that I grew up on, and I have them all with me. It's just I haven't found a or I haven't even spent the time to look for a transformer yet to get my PS2 up and running. But it works. Those games works. I have the memory card still. I can load up my old saves. The most time I've spent on those games growing up before I transitioned into all these other games was Jack 2, Jack 3, Ratchet and Clank 2, 3, 4, just playing them over and over again. And so I'd pay good money to be able to play the entire original Ratchet and Clank series again, but I already have them.
I do see a Ratchet in what I'm going to ask here, but I'm going to ask two questions, if you don't mind. The first one is, did you know that PlayStation 2 emulators on the PC allow you to use the disc by popping it into the disc drive?
I did not know about the disc part of that. So
instead of downloading the ISO or the ROM, you could actually put the game in and you can run it right off the disc.
That's interesting. I didn't know that actually. I've strayed away from emulators because this is just a personal thing. To me, emulators feels a little bit like cheating when you have the technology available.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, your technology is just stopping you just because you're in a different part of the world. So I figured, an alternative. The wrench I was mentioning is the fact that your disc, I believe, are PAL versions. So I don't know if your disc reader, which is typically going to be an NTSC, it might not recognize this. So that might not be. Well,
it helps that I don't have a disc reader on my PC.
Yeah, you're also fucked. So I guess if you just ordered a PAL.
I could technically order a PAL external disc reader and set it up that way. That's actually pretty interesting. Go
ahead.
Yeah. No, go.
The second question I had is, did you know that there's a device out there where you can plug your PlayStation 2 or PlayStation memory card into it and then plug it via USB?
Into the PC for the emulator?
You can do that, or you can, you essentially extract it, turn it into a USB drive if you want to. It was originally introduced, I believe, by Sony for PlayStation 3. People wanted to put PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, but they wanted to carry their old save files from their memory cards. So Sony or a third party introduced a thing where you could just plug it right into this little tiny plastic box, converted it over to USB, which you would plug into the PlayStation 3. So if you wanted to keep your save files or back them up or use them on an emulator on the computer, you could totally do that.
That's super interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, that's really awesome. I started earlier and I was thinking of another game that I would really like to play again would be Mega Man Legends 2. Because along with Crash Bandicoot 2, that was one of the first games I got, and I never understood what was going on then, but I want to play it now because I know I'll understand what would happen in those games now.
It's amazing because there's a lot of games where you play it back in the day and you love it for the action, even though you have no fucking idea what's happening with the story. And so when you go back, you realize, oh shit, I was good at gaming back then. I had 8-year-old super eye coordination, so it's harder. But then once you get to the story, it's like, oh shit, that's what's happening. Wow, those writers really overestimated our intelligence.
Right. Yeah, no, which is what I was talking about last week too. Is either I was a god gamer growing up in regards to CTR, and I just became worse over time, or I just was never really that good. I just inflated it myself in my own head.
A final note to this question is, whether or not you'd pay a premium for a game to have in your collection. I am a Nintendo fan, first and foremost, and Nintendo has this very horrible thing where they preserve the pricing of their first party games. Breath of the Wild, I'm pretty sure up until the first year was still $60 on almost any shelf unless it was used. in which GameStop, it's like, haha, we'll keep the price expensive too because we also love money. And so it would be like 55 used, brand new, $60, and it would retain its pricing for quite a very long time. Usually the only way you're going to be able to get it cheaper is Nintendo decides it so, as a Nintendo Select for $20, in which the game was already like 4 or 5 years old at that point, but they wanted to make it readily available. So when Twilight Princess came out in 2006 for the Wii, it sold like gangbusters. Eventually it started getting a little bit harder to find, but in 2009, 2010 they re-released it as Nintendo Select. First 2 years it was $60 no matter where the fuck you went. It was rough. So Nintendo knew how to really stay strict on that. They would not budge, drop their shit. But then all of a sudden they'd release the Nintendo Selects version, all of a sudden it's like $20.
Right. The game that I was willing to spend money on when I was a little younger, when I had no money or idea of what money was properly. So growing up, one of my first Game Boy games, I got the Game Boy Advance first. One of the first ones was Pokemon Yellow. And then Pokemon Yellow, something happened with the cartridge and the cartridge stopped working. And so the issue growing up in the Middle East was there were a lot of, and I can imagine that to some extent that was an issue here, but we had like a lot of these like sketchy video game stores, like electronic stores that also sold video games, and so a lot of the cartridges that they had were fake.
Oh no.
So I'd go in, I tried for so long finding a copy of Pokemon Yellow, and then I'd put it in, and then it was in a different language, like the words were not what they should have been.
Version.
Yeah, like it was like you take the entire script, it was in Vietnamese, and then they put it through Google Translator, and then they copied the English version and put it back into the game, so a lot of it didn't make sense.
Nick in the chat, as well as me, had a huge kick because there was he's not too famous, but he's a good popular local Let's Player who would play these games, these Vietnamese games. His biggest one was Vietnamese Crystal.
Right.
Like a Pidgey would be like a flat monster or some shit like that.
Yep. And that really did break my heart growing up, because I'm like, fuck, I'm never gonna find Pokemon Yellow again, kind of thing. I'm never gonna find Pokemon Crystal properly again. And then I lucked out with cartridges being a little bit more durable with Pokemon Ruby and Emerald, as I was able to like transfer those Pokemon into Platinum, which started off the gotta catch 'em all craze that I developed. But yeah, no, like if I had to pay money, I think it'd be Pokemon Yellow.
That's fair. Oh man, dude, was it Yellow version or was it called Pikachu version? I think it was the Yellow version. They called it GBY for a reason, or sorry, RBY.
Yeah,
GBY. Fun fact, Yellow was actually the first version of the Pokemon that I bought, and I eventually switched over to Blue, so I ended up having 2 different copies of the same generation.
Yeah, I went Yellow, Crystal, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, and then all the way until this generation.
Oh boy, are we about to do this? We're going to name off the versions we bought?
I mean, if you want.
Sure. Before we do that, though, I just want to explain why I went to Blue. It's because in Yellow, Nintendo got smart and helped fix all the shit like the Masingno glitches and all that stuff. And so I had to level up all my Pokemon naturally and properly, while everybody else was just using the get yourself 99 rare candy and all that stuff. Now, the bad news with that originally was, I'm not sure if it was in the original Pokemon Red and Blue, but did EVs exist?
Yeah.
Like evolution values, I mean, versus the actual
EVs.
Pokemon?
I thought, okay. I'm like, EVs? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Of course they existed. EVs... I don't believe so, no.
Okay, so it wouldn't have mattered if I, trained my Pokemon out the 100 by battling versus just giving a bunch of rare candies at the time. I thought it did, honestly, because there was times where I would, beef up 2 of its skills with protein and calcium or something like that, but I didn't get to do the full thing because the Eevee trained itself, just like one of my starter Pokemons or something like that.
In the context of Generations 1 and 2, the effort system is unofficially known as Stat Experience, or Stat XP for short. Okay. So it did evolve. It did exist in some form.
Okay.
This is straight from Bulbapedia's page on effort values.
Huh. Good deal. Okay, Nick. From first generation, let's hear it.
From Generation 1 all the way to Generation 7, because I can do that.
Yeah. Simple enough.
Okay. Yellow, Crystal, Ruby, Emerald, Fire Red, Diamond, Soul Silver, Black, Black 2, White 2, X. Generation 6 is when the Hoenn remakes came out as well, right?
Sure.
Yes. Omega Ruby,
I realize
Alpha
you're gonna
Sapphire.
have to hold my hand for this. This is actually kind of scary.
Pokemon Sun, and then Pokemon Ultra Moon.
And then Pokemon Sword?
Which opposite of whichever one you're getting.
Are you serious? Don't
Yeah, so I could get all the Pokemon. No, because I could complete my Pokedex.
So you can get all the Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna use you for my game.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see. For me, Generation 1 was yellow, but then I switched to blue because of that situation. Generation 2, my mom actually gave me both, but she let me pick one early, and it turned out to be silver. No, it was gold. I played gold because I was upset because I wanted Lugia. I didn't realize that later in the game you could actually get a chance to catch Lugia in Pokemon Gold. But okay, gold, and then next is Ruby Sapphire. So I got Ruby. I remember doing the Groudon thing. Let's see, what's the next generation after that?
Generation 4 is a Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
Okay, I got the one that would have given me Dialga, so Diamond, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. And then after that, it was Fire Red, Leaf Green, right?
No, Fire Red, Leaf Green were part of Generation 3. The remakes in Generation 4 were Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Okay. That was during the time where I didn't actually buy the game so much as I emulated some of them, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure when I did that, though, I ended up getting Soul Silver.
Okay.
Let's see. Black and White, both the first one and the second one, I completely skipped.
Okay.
I jumped right over it, which I believe would put us towards Alpha Omega, which...
no, X and Y.
X and Y first?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Did you also skip Black 2 and White 2?
What's up?
Did you skip Black 2 and White 2 as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I missed technically 2 generations worth of Pokemon. It kind of freaked me out.
No, they're part of the same generation. They're just story sequels, and actually good story sequels. And so Generation 6, we've got X, Y, Omega, Ruby, Alpha, Sapphire.
Okay. In which I end up getting Y because I wanted Emo Turkey Bird.
Yeah.
And then I also bought, I feel like I got Omega Ruby.
Okay.
And then Amanda got Alpha Sapphire. At this point, this is where Amanda started picking up the games, which I got really excited for. And then Sun and Moon came out, and I got Pokemon Moon, and then Ultra Moon by my wife. And then, did I ever tell you if I was getting Sword or Shield?
Yeah, I think you might have said Shield, but I can't remember.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but you said you keep changing your mind, so you haven't decided yet.
Right. And I've cemented in my head which one I'm going to get, for sure.
Okay. So I'll only pick up. I won't even buy a game until you tell me which one you have. So if you never tell me, I'll never buy the game.
And you just give the one away. So fun fact: when
Pokemon Master Quest
giveaway, it's funny. Super Goon Squad, when Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, I bought 2 copies of Sun and 1 copy of Moon for myself, Amanda, and Brandon. But one of them already bought their copy, so we end up doing a giveaway.
Nice.
We gave it away. I'm done with that. Actually, I got a different idea for a giveaway for this episode, but we'll talk about that later. Okay. So let's keep going. Speaking of Pokemon, we do have a response from Masuda, aka the guy that's in charge of Pokemon, generally speaking. He tried to give an opinion about the whole matter about Pokemon Dexit, as people are calling it, rather cornily, I'd like to add. But we love the dramatized stuff. Look at Gamergate. And so he's actually, really, really heard the opinions and hearts of our fellow special snowflakes. Very upset that they can't collect every single Pokemon. They were so mad that these developers didn't take the time to make or outsource the 3D rendering of every fucking Pokemon in the game, rather than just the ones in the region. It's so sad. So sad, Nick.
I will not say anything because... on one hand, I can understand and I can praise the fact that Game Freak is trying to put their employees first. But I mean, how much time do they need? Like, if you look at some of the pre-release screenshots and videos and images, there's nothing that's a lot more substantially different from from Sword and Shield in terms of 3D character models and attack animations to previous games, considering the amount of power that they now have and how long the Switch has been out and the time since Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yeah, but that Dynamax Raichu, that's got to take a lot of detail and resources just to detail a Raichu of that size. They can't just, Nick, they can't just take a model and then blow it up to like 100 times the size. It's just not feasible.
Obviously, no. Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. Impossible. It's not like vector files exist that allow you to do such things.
So Masuda would like to tell all the fans that he's, and I say this in a quote, thank you, Polygon, read all your comments and then appreciate your love and passion for Pokemon, which is a very nice way of putting it, as Nintendo would probably demand that he says it. So Masuda is trying to convince everybody that he's read all the YouTube comments and all the dislikes on that E3 Direct and all that shit. He'd also reaffirmed that the decision to limit the Pokemon in Sword and Shield was very difficult. It was really hard. It was really hard to keep holding it. I'd like to make one thing clear, he says. Even if a specific Pokemon is not available in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, that does not mean it will not appear in future games. Okay.
I'm still gonna get the games. Because they're Pokemon core RPG games. This is part of why I've always wanted to Switch. But me giving my opinion on all the Pokemon not being in the National Pokedex after you finish the main campaign, and that's something you do in post game, which has been the case for a while now. I don't like it. But
question for you, Nick, if I could.
Yeah.
We were able to look at the picture and we were able to see that Pokemon Sword and Shield were able to trade in and out of Pokemon Bank, right?
Yes.
So what's stopping you from making a living dex using the Pokemon Bank?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm going to do. And I said that, I think, 2 weeks ago. That's my plan. Yeah.
Some people are complaining recently that I don't pay attention to what they say. I think they're full of shit.
No, that's what I was going to do. So, I'm not upset in that aspect. I can understand properly the how people who participate in the competitive scene might be upset because maybe they like using underused, rarely used, tier Pokemon that might not make the cut. I can't understand. I'm not going to pretend I'm sitting on this high and holy place because I'm a living Dex master right now and I understand the needs and struggles of the entire Pokemon community. I'm definitely not going to try and pretend to do that, but I just don't like it because what's the point then of all this technology that we have at in our hands? The only time when using my Switch that I've seen significant frame drops or physical limitations was in some areas of Breath of the Wild. But that's because it's a game that has so much going on just visually and in the game engine at any given time. What's stopping Game Freak?
Do we have any confirmation on how many Pokemon are currently in Pokemon Sword and Shield?
No, we don't know how many new Pokemon are being introduced, and we do not know the total number of the Galar Pokédex. My guess would be between 350 and 500.
Which is still a lot.
I guess it is still a lot, but
I wonder if they would introduce more of it, like a Pokemon Spear or whatever the hell the equivalent would be.
Yeah, they haven't done the
third game in a while.
Third game in a while since Generation 5, actually.
Which is what?
Black and White. Because then they just put out successors in Black 2 and White 2. So technically it was a third game, but then they put out dual story sequels. And then with X, we were completely expecting X, Y. With X and Y, we were expecting Z, right? Because you had the two main legendaries, and then you had, Zygarde. But we didn't get a Z. And then Pokemon Sun and Moon, we were like, all right, well, if they're going to maybe keep up with their trend, we've got fucking Pokemon Stars coming out. There was no fucking stars. It was just Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon made ultra boring.
Damn. That's also fair, though. I was actually very upset with how Ultra Sun and Moon got handled. Okay. Well, next on the topic, unless you have any final thoughts, because I know you love imparting wisdom about this whole situation.
I'm going to play the game. I'm going to not say anything about it because I'll still be able to finish my Pokédex. I just think that this was a poor response.
In the words of Shigeru Miyamoto, please understand. So, more fucking Pokemon news came out this week. Once again. Holy shit. So,
I thought we were done with Pokemon Week, but they just keep hitting us with it. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, what were we? It's
Not
it's
talk
like that,
about Pokemon? That's madness.
that gif where Patrick gets a burger and all of a sudden like SpongeBob starts firing like a bajillion of these fucking Krabby Patties into Patrick's mouth, and it's like, okay, enough, please. Also, me when I was eating food before I took my nap. Man, those breadsticks were great. Anyways, another Pokemon game is being announced, coming out for Apple and Android, called Pokemon Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be coming out sometime this summer, so in the next month or two, if not very, very soon. They're talking about it as one of those free to start with things you can buy, which is not a very big shocker with the way that they've been handling all the Nintendo properties on the phone. But the battle system is a little bit weird, actually, extremely weird. You'll be seeing historical figures from previous Pokemon games that you will be able to battle.
Or use.
Or use, that's true. I didn't think about that. And they'll be throwing you on, I believe, an island. Okay, I got name island. I think it was an island that they said it was.
It's an island called Pasio.
Pasio, just Pasio by. And then
that was a better one than that Cajun joke.
Fuck you! That Cajun joke was great. Okay, I worked on it on my wife, and she laughed after 5 seconds.
Out of pity. She's legally obliged to because she's your wife.
Okay, that's.
I don't make the rules.
You're getting jalapeno business. Oh, that okay.
But better than the Cajun joke.
So there's going to be 3-on-3 battles where you're going to have 3 different trainers on your side. They'll have their own Pokemon. So instead of just controlling the Pokemon, you'll be controlling the trainers who control the Pokemon.
Right.
It almost sounds like Destiny Child, Nick.
A little bit, but it's not turn-based. Well, like Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child wasn't turn-based. It was live, like
time-based, technically.
Time-based, but it was live action. So, like, think of like the Pokemon battles in Pokemon Go. You do things. You have a gauge bar that fills up. The one difference here is a couple of things. Each trainer that you choose to have on your team, they have a specific partner, so they're known as sync pairs. And then the trainers themselves can also do moves. They can also do actions in the combat, such as heal and whatever else. So very similar to a core RPG, core Pokemon game, except it's all in real time. So it's you're not going by turn. It doesn't use up a Pokemon's turn by you choosing to heal them. The trainer can heal, and the Pokemon can also do things. At least from what I understood.
And looking at this, it is essentially a 3v3 fight, except instead of each Pokemon having their own attack in one turn, you can pick one Pokemon and have them do one of their 4 attacks. Or have, as Nick said, one of their trainer abilities. It looks pretty cool. Do you think he'll buy it, Nick?
I mean, it's going to be free to play unless I fall into the gacha system, but we'll see. We'll see. I did want to ask you, though. Just looking at the kind of lineup that they have, it seems that a lot of the trainers are you've got the main characters from the Pokemon games that you can choose to play as. You've got the gym leaders, and you've got the Elite Four and Pokemon champions.
Yep.
Now, maybe this might be a little bit of a hard question that you'd have to think about, but if you had to pick 3 of the gym leaders, Elite Four, or champions from all of the games so far, who would you pick?
I would probably pick Steven with Metagross, because I assume that's going to be a star Pokemon. That's a champion right there. I don't want to say 3 champions, Cynthia, Lance.
Oh, all no rules, no restrictions, whatever.
Oh, it's because I can hardly remember any of the gym leaders that isn't from like the first 3 generations.
Well, that's fine. Also, like, don't worry about names. If you can think of a gym leader that you remember, I probably won't remember their name either.
I would say Steven with Metagross. I'm assuming Norman if he's in here with Slacking.
Okay.
Let's show some love that way. Oh man. And Blaine from the manga, so he has fucking Mewtwo with him. Hell yeah, baby. Or reality, probably a Rapidash.
I'd have Cynthia be my lead because Cynthia is one of my favorite characters in the Pokemon games, like of all time.
I fucking hated her Garchomp.
I love Cynthia so much. She's just such a cool badass. She just comes in, does her shit, and then leaves.
Her
Cynthia
cat ears.
Faulkner.
Ooh.
I really like
the bird trainer for the first one from Golden Silver.
No, that's Faulkner. Volkner is from I can't remember if that's his name. But he's the electric gym leader in Generation 4.
Generation Pearl and
yeah.
Diamond?
Yeah. He's the Volkner, if you wanted to look him up real quick. He has a rivalry with Flint, who is the Elite Four in Generation. He's a fire type in Generation 4, one of the Elite Four members. So it'd be Volkner, Cynthia, and Jasmine, Koga's daughter.
Oh boy, her.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about her. She's a character. Anyways, is there anything else you want to talk about with Pokemon Masters here?
No, I think it's a standard gacha game that's going to come out soon. Might be interesting to give it a try.
It's being made by DENA, so Dana. I don't know how you pronounce that. The people that also made Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, Super Mario Run, Fire Emblem Heroes, and Bitomo. So Pokemon Company will be the one publishing the title. So we'll see it sometime this summer.
Yeah.
This next title, I'm not as excited to talk about, Nick. I guess no one would ever want to talk about something like this.
No, this is a rough one.
Nick, is there any way I could make you do this one?
Yeah, I could try. It might be easier for me. I didn't know or consume his content, but it's sad regardless. So recently, a famous gaming YouTuber, Etika, was found dead in New York. This happened on June 19th. Reading through this article, it appears that suicide was very likely the reason. Yeah,
it fucking sucks. Apparently for anybody that has eyeballs on Twitter, they already know the situation. He's been having a rough tumble over the past year, and his last video, which was taken down by YouTube, he was talking about his struggles and all that, and his final lines in the situation, was the biggest red flag and a warning sign, which concerned people immediately. He said, "I'm sorry for leaving such a stained legacy. I hope that my story maybe helps to make YouTube a better place in the future, where people know boundaries and limits and how far things should go." Unfortunately, I don't have any backstory to what he was referencing specifically, but it sounds like he might have been bullied, or somebody that he knew was being bullied, or being prejudiced against, because shit.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into it. But from my brief knowledge, it seems like there was a lot of harassment he had to deal with on social media through his channel and through all the other avenues that people had access to, like towards him. And there was a lot of negativity that he was dealing with. Whether that was a cause for all of this, I do not know, but I did want to push this out, or at least state this out now. I'm not the one to make a case for anything, but there is a National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It operates free. It's 24 hours, and you can reach them at 800-273-8255. There is also a online chat service that you can find if you did not want to talk to anybody on the phone. Yeah. I'm
not proud of this, but I would say about a year and a half ago, I was going to say almost a year ago, I didn't want to celebrate as an anniversary, but this was when I was with PSVG, where I talked about video game related, people who play video games and those who are depressed and whatnot that use it more as a crutch, more as a tool to their entertainment. And this isn't the case, or at least I wouldn't know anyways. Just talking about depression and mental health in general. It's both a touchy subject when it shouldn't be, I personally say. It's just weird, Nick, because he was very upfront with about the situation, but he, according to this article, which is very limited information, he didn't seek help. And I don't know if people tried to help seek help for him. Fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, I'm not about to talk ill of anybody or shame anybody, but I've been in situations where I've helped people, through some harder times, or at least attempted to. And a lot of the times with mental health comes down to yeah, sure, they need to reach out, but sometimes they don't know how to. And so, me being more of an empath, I try and reach out when I notice some signs. But you can only help a person as much as they want to help themselves. And that's probably, in regards to this topic, the harshest thing I'm going to say, but sometimes people just don't want to help themselves, and you can only do so much. Not that I'm saying that when they don't want your help that you stop helping, but they have to decide to accept that help as well.
On a random side note, because I've become a police knowledge fanatic, I've actually learned about a lot of similar things in regards to like what point can the police or a hospital intervene? When can they release, at least in the United States, when can they force a medical warrant saying that this person is needs to be treated? And this can potentially change state by state, but the way I heard it was officers can't do anything unless they're clearly a threat to themselves or others. So like, it sucks because if you send a welfare check over on this person or any person that you're worried about, if the person does not say anything in regards to I'm going to hurt myself or I'm going to hurt another person, officer can't do anything. Right. They can recommend it and all that stuff, but they can't do anything. And at the point that a hospital or any kind of psychiatric ward could issue a warrant to force you to stay whether or not you like it, usually some serious shit would have had to already happen. So at that point it's too late. Right. And it fucking sucks, man. I guess at that point the cop podcast advised that in those kind of situations, sometimes you can't force somebody to do something that they don't want to because they have rights. You can't inflict on those rights unless they're going to inflict on the rights of others. But that doesn't mean you can't stop reasoning with them. Right. If you can't, you can still bargain with them. If you can't force it, you certainly still have the power of persuasion. And I encourage anybody that has ever been in that situation to persuade. And then once it's clear that they are at the point to where they can, legally be saved against themselves, then, obviously do that.
Yeah.
I always get nervous about these kind of things.
Yeah, we're no experts by any means, but if you see somebody struggling, either a loved one or a friend or a family or even a stranger, and if you have the time and the mental energy and fortitude to reach out and just say what's up, please do. Sometimes it goes a lot further than you'd realize. I will give you the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline again. That operates 24 hours. It is 800-273-8255.
And you don't have to memorize the number. Yeah, you just you can always Google it. But also, and I think this is equally important, find someone you care for, and they care for you, someone you can trust. Just tell them. It's what I end up having to do myself. It's the hardest thing to do because you have no idea how the other person's going to react, and that person might have never experienced something like that, so they don't know how to react.
Yep.
But with all this awareness, hopefully it will push in the right direction. Nick?
Yes.
Nickel?
Yes.
Am I allowed to say your last name?
Or?
Nickel Chodimella.
Yes.
If you, sir, are ever down and you feel like you need somebody to talk to, I will be there for you, my friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's going to lead to the same path either way, whether or not you put chicken grease on the floor so you turn it to a super slide towards me, by all means. I like to think that, there's so many people now I can reach out nowadays. I got such a support system, and I know some people don't. So I feel blessed in that way nowadays. Shit. Nick in the chat says, I love you, Ty. I love you too, Nick. Thank you. Also, I love my wife.
Me too. What? Huh?
What? The fuck you just say, son?
So, Steam Summer Sale, huh?
Yeah, the way to bring up the mood with sexual confusion. Steam Summer Sale. Looks like there's 30% off of... What the hell? That's weird. It says 30% off of alimony. That's weird. And then looks like there's 20% off of cheating on your best friend's wife.
Huh. I wonder what that's about. Never played that game.
I never heard of those games too. So yes, Steam Summer's here right now. As we are speaking, Summer Games Done Quick is happening live on Twitch right now, and as part of summer, they're trying to sell you games that are in good deals. Nick, do you want to read them off, or we can team up on these?
I can read them off.
Sure.
I could. Yeah, I could do that. These are some of the better deals for some of the bigger titles going on right now.
Oh yeah, there's hundreds upon hundreds.
There's so many. A majority of the games on the Steam store are on discount, so please do browse through and find something that you think you'd enjoy that you haven't picked up yet and put in your backlog. I'm going to be picking up a bunch soon, actually. But starting with Assassin's Creed Odyssey is now $29.99, $30 off. Yakuza 0, $9.99, $10 off. Devil May Cry 5. Yes.
Just a heads up for the key to understanding. I'll grunt either approvingly, normal, or disapprovingly, just so I can help with input on whether or not you should do it.
Okay. Devil May Cry 5, $39.59, $20.40 off. Doom, $14.99, $5 off. PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, $14.99, $15 off. Nope, don't get that. Half-Life, $1.99, $9 off. Skyrim, $19.99, $20 off. And if you don't already have it on 2 or 3 different platforms or devices, what are you doing with your life?
Why is it still $20 is my question.
Why is it? No, okay, $20 is fine. Why is it $49.99 for the full price?
That is also true. $39.99, at least in US dollars. Come on, Nick. Learn
Oh, no, I can't do math. Yeah, my bad.
This game came out in like 2011. Why the fuck is it $20 or normally $40? Is this one of those Yonker things where they fake you the price and give you the real price as like, oh, this shirt is actually worth $150, but for you, good sir, we'll make it a sale. It's only $19.99.
Continuing down the list, we've got Divinity Original Sin 2, $26.99, $18 off. Kentucky Route Zero, $12.49, $12.50
The fuck you just say?
Kentucky.
Got a Canadian in the house. Watch out, Kentucky. Where they sell free Shavakadu.
I'm sorry. I apologize to our American listeners. Kentucky Route Zero.
Thank you. Also, it's fresh avocado, not free Shavakadu.
It's free Shavakadu. Please shut the fuck up.
Yes, sir.
Return of the Obra Dinn, $17.99, $2 off. I've heard good things about this. Is it worth, Tyler?
I believe so, yes. I didn't get to play it, but I definitely heard so much about it that I really give it I would say this is a game worth looking into. It's a fun game where you are a person who's trying to either something about the insurance of a ship or something like that, which is the Obra Dinn. And everybody's dead on it, and it's your job to figure out what the hell happened to each one of them. So you're kind of like a CSI puzzle investigator of sorts.
I see. Yeah. Okay. We've got Total War Warhammer 2, $29.99, $30 off. Homeworld Deserts of Karak.
I'm gonna say you can say whatever. Deserts of Kentucky.
Can't believe I said Kentucky. No, Kentucky. Can't believe I said it. Yeah.
Have you heard of the state before then, or?
Yeah, KFC, Tyler. Of course I have. Yeah, Kentucky. It just didn't.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That's the Indian in me coming out. Like I just didn't register it as Kentucky. Like I just read it as it's Ken. I don't even know what I think I read the U as an E. Whatever. Anyways.
Kentucky.
We've got Arma 3, $10.19, $19.80
Banjo
off.
and Kentucky.
Elite Dangerous, $8.99, $21 off. XCOM 2, $14.99, $45 off. Crusader Kings 2, $9.99, $30 off. Civilization 6 Gold Edition, $29.54,
$100 game,
$38 off.
Oh no, it's $130 game, or it's something close to that. So,
if you wanted all the fancy bells and whistles,
oh man, I've been needing to get I've been wanting to get Civ 6, but I didn't want to make the jump. But I didn't want to buy everything. But it's only $30.
Now you can buy everything.
You can buy everything. Anything you wanted in Kentucky.
Resident Evil 2, $39.59, $20.40 off. Hitman 2, $23.99, $36 off. A sleeping hit that Square Enix made a big deal mistake with.
Also, I'd like to say, correct my grunt of disapproval of the Resident Evil 2. I realize that it's the remake, so there.
Cool. Thank you.
Elaborate.
Monster Hunter World, $29.99, $30 off. They have a new expansion coming out soon, so keep that in mind. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, $19.79, $40, $20 off. Batman Arkham Knight, $4.99, $15 off. I think I asked you this, Tyler, a few days ago. Have they optimized it yet for PC? Do you know?
I've never bought it or played it before.
Okay.
I played one of them like for 15 minutes, but then I stopped playing it for whatever reason. So
Right.
probably not. They're lowering the price like that.
Well, Arkham Knight is an older game too now. I think it's like 2011, 2012. So
True. I always ask when they're old as shit, why is it $20 still? It's not a Nintendo game.
I think depending on the game, regardless of age, as long as the content is there, $20 seems like a fair price.
$20
when they
is
still,
$20.
Yeah, but I feel like, staying at 50, 60, even though they're like 6, 7 years old, it's a little debatable. We've got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition, $14.99, $35 off. If you've never played this game, pick it up for the love of God if you like RPGs. It is one of the best games I've ever played in my life.
So what is The Witcher? I've never heard of it.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to pitch it.
Like, how do you explain that one?
It is a game where you have 2 swords, you're a man that fucks everything, and you kill monsters, and you have magic, and it's made by CD Projekt Red. That's
true. If that thing is capable or it has a walking animation, there's a good chance you can have sex with it and earn a trading card.
Okay, well that's a little. This is not Mass Effect, so that's a little much. But yeah, basically all the main female protagonists in the game you could romance.
Oh well, I mean, play the modded version, Nick. You gotta step up your game.
I will not sully myself with the modded version.
Bedded yourself with a skeleton dog. Missing out, dude.
Yeah. Well, at least I don't have to worry about ogre heads. But we've got BattleTech $13.59, $26.40 off. Don't Starve Together $5.99, a whole $9 off there.
That's
Stardew Valley $11.99, $3 off.
Ugh.
I will say this again: Stardew Valley $11.99, $3 off.
I mean, it seems like a good deal. Why would you get Stardew Valley though? I mean,
all right. Do you want me to open my Steam library and see which of my friends owns Stardew Valley, Tyler?
I want to say for the record, and this is my argument in this case, so it sounds a little bit more realistic. If Stardew Valley is a game that you enjoyed, you would have bought it long ago. There's no one in their fucking right mind that thinks Stardew Valley is a good game, but hasn't jumped on it yet.
Or maybe you've never played it yet, and now's your time to pick it up. It's a little bit cheaper.
Oh shit! My wife is in the chat. Nick?
Yeah.
What was after Stardew Valley?
Castle Crashers.
Okay, I bought Stardew Valley. Okay, I haven't touched it yet.
Okay, you did this to yourself. I want you to let it be known that you did this to yourself. I was going to read off
sweat animation all over me.
I was going to read off from my library to see which of my friends own Stardew Valley, and I'd see your name there.
Yeah, but I know. I fucking know.
Okay.
It's like, reveal that you have drugs in your house or we'll get it in warrant. And my warrant is my Steam profile. Thanks. Also, site digital edition is $7.99 to $12. I haven't heard of that game. I've heard of Castle Crashers though.
There's a bunch of things on sale. Please do browse through the store. Looking at what I have in my cart, I've got Ori and the Blind Forest, that's in Canadian dollars, sitting at $11 right now, and Borderlands: The Handsome Collection, which literally involves everything from Borderlands 2, all the DLCs. It even gives you one of the prequels, I think. That is $6.57 Canadian, so it's like $4, I guess. Yeah.
Or it's free on the PlayStation, just saying right now.
Imagine playing on a console.
Let's see. It's called the Handsome Jack Collection?
Or
the Handsome
Borderlands
Collection.
The Handsome Collection. Yeah.
It's $5.90 in American.
Yep. There you go.
Really reasonable.
Borderlands The Handsome Collection gets you Borderlands 2 and all of the DLCs for that price with the pre-sequel. But it does not get you Borderlands 2, which is sitting at $22 because it's the Game of the Year edition that was released recently, I think. Or maybe that was the Handsome Collection that I'm thinking of.
Nick is pointing out that it doesn't have Tales from the Borderland, but isn't that a Telltale game?
That is a Telltale game, and yeah, if you want to get that for whatever reason, just pick that up on its own.
I'm going to say, if you can get it, considering that they took most of them down from almost everywhere, so good luck. Maybe you can buy an Xbox 360 version from a local GameStop.
Yikes. Telltales, the legend still lives on. Yeah.
Kind of.
We
have not actually spoken ever about Telltale ever since they got closed down months upon months ago.
Well, I mean, for good reason. I don't like talking about shit all the time. But then to counteract that point, we talk about EA all the time. So, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. I thought you were about to say Destiny 2.
Listen, I hate the game, but not that much.
No, it's not shit. It's okay. There's a lot of issues I take umbrage with it, but it's an okay game.
It's an okay game.
Also, what the fuck do you have against pizza?
I don't like pizza. I don't like American pizza.
It doesn't mean it's terrible. It just means you don't like pizza.
Tyler, let me tell you how opinions work. I have an opinion. It may or may not be factually true. And I don't like pizza. And I think it's like American pizza's garbage.
I think you look better shaven. That's my
now. See, that's just factually untrue, and we're not gonna even talk about that.
I've seen your baby face before, Nick. I've seen it.
Yeah, nobody has in a long time.
We got it somewhere on YouTube, unless you pulled the video down. Oh man, the times. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Do you want to do this day in gaming or gaming releases? I'll let you pick.
I'll do this day in gaming.
Okay. Then we do have a bunch of games coming out. Looks like we have a total of 9 games coming out this week. The first one is Season 2 of Apex Legends. Thank you, Respawn. I almost blanked out on what they who did that.
Yeah, Season 2 comes July 2nd with a new character and a new weapon at drop with dragons and animals in the game. So, like, apparently now, at least from what I understood, they haven't confirmed anything except for the trailer. You have a chance of being stomped on by one of those creatures that was in, like, the waters because they've now come to land.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Also funny, but...
So it looks interesting now.
Good deal. Brandon will be excited for this. By the way, that's coming out on July 2nd, which is Tuesday, I believe. Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, I feel like this already came out. I know people have been playing it already for like the last few days, or at least 2 days now.
Are you talking about this game?
Yeah.
Huh. Recheck that then. Final Fantasy 14 Online Shadowbringers, they call it DLC, but I would have called it more an expansion. Brandon's excited because Bunny Girls also coming out on Tuesday. Red Faction Guerrilla. There's something off here because I looked at a website. I looked at multiple websites for this little section here. One only had 4, and this one has 9. What's going on here, Nick? What do you think? Suspicious, said the man to his mistress.
What are we talking about?
Okay, anyways. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition is coming out for Switch, also on Tuesday. DLC for Just Cause 4, also known as Los Demonios, is coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One July 3rd. Now, Nick, you're suspicious about this one for Stranger Things. Has this game actually came out officially yet?
Stranger Things 3.
The game. Are you sure this isn't, you're not talking about it coming out for people to watch or people who are influencers?
Stranger Things 3, the series, is coming out. Season 3 is coming out July 4th. Stranger Things, the game. I'm looking. Okay, so Stranger Things Season 3 is called The Game.
Yeah, Stranger Things 3, The Game. The movie, The Game. John Wick. Sorry, that's my choice.
This is so strange. Okay, no, it's an actual game that's coming out.
Yeah, it is legitimately a game that's coming out alongside the show.
There's no news about it.
Okay. Is it July 4th, though? Are you hurting yourself over this?
July 4th.
Okay.
Comes out the same day the game, the season comes out.
Coming out on all the consoles and PC. Wonderblade is coming out also for PC July 4th. This is not a game that I've actually heard about. Nick, have you heard about Wonderblade before?
No, I have not heard about Wonderblade before, Tyler.
Well, let me tell you, my good sir. It is a game I've never heard about. So, oh boy. Let's see. All reviews, and there's no reviews. That makes sense. It's an early access game. Cool.
It is an early access game developed by Puppet Depot Games, published by East to West Games. It's like Castle Crashers, like art style meets like an RPG. It's just like a silly cartoony RPG. Side-scrolling platformers, elements and shit.
And if you haven't heard about Puppet Depot games, then it makes sense because this is their first game on Steam. So this is a fresh new indie game coming out. Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. July 5th, Wednesday. Sea of Solitude, that's coming out this week. Holy shit. PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Wow. You know, now that shit, where was I going with this? I can't play Sea of Thieves. I do need a good water game.
Sea of Solitude looks spooky. I'm not going to touch it.
I was going to say, don't you want to... I feel like this might be your style game. What's wrong with it?
Spooky. No, not going to.
The main character has red eyes. Don't worry about it. Oh, man. You're really, really missing out there, buddy. And the last game also coming out on July 5th is They Are Billions, coming out for the Xbox One. I've never heard of this game either.
It is a steampunk strategy game set on a post-apocalyptic planet. Build and defend colonies to survive against the billions of the infected that seek to annihilate the few remaining living humans. And I would also like to say, my suspicions were right. There are people right now playing Shadowbringers on Twitch.
Wait.
So I don't know if these are streamers that or certain people that got early access, but even when I do a quick internet search, Shadowbringers is officially coming out on the 2nd of July. So the information posted here is not wrong, but I just don't know how these people...
what is it called? PBE, public beta.
Maybe, I guess, but people are like, have been live now. Some of them have been live for 24, or like doing 24-hour streams now.
Nick, you do realize that there's other time zones. Oh, wait, no, it's only... For us, it's only June 29th, so there's a 3-day gap. Okay.
Yeah.
You know there's a 3-day gap of time zones around the entire world. I know that doesn't make sense chronologically, but maybe you need to get yourself together, Mr. Captain Kentucky.
Kentucky, is that what I said? Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. That's what I said. Yeah.
Sounds
I'll never
like
let that down.
A good dish.
Somebody's going to bring that up.
I won't let that down. Yeah. You bet your ass I'm going to remember that. What's come out in this day in gaming, Nick?
So this day in gaming, July 1st, Ape Escape 2 came out in 2003 in the United States on the PlayStation 2. So
I didn't know that Ape Escape 2 came out on the PS2. I only played the first one. I mean, I bought it for the PlayStation 4, and I realized, later on it was a PS2 port.
Right.
I didn't realize that it came out with PlayStation 2. Wow, that means the gap between Ape Escape 2 and Ape Escape was at least 5 years.
Didn't we have Ape Escape on our last... or like 2 weeks ago or something? I feel like we've mentioned it recently.
Yes. This day in gaming, it came out on the PlayStation 1 like some 20 years ago. It came out, it's a first release. I'm sure it came out a little bit different. Excuse me. But it came out May 31st, 1999. So it was about 20 years ago, a couple of years ago on the platform release for Japan, I believe.
I see.
This one is Ape Escape 2 for the US.
Like the next game on the list is Warcraft 3: The Frozen Throne.
Hell yeah!
Came out on Windows, United States, 2003. So this is still the RTS, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Warcraft 3 has been out for a couple of years at this point, but they're releasing the whole section where it is Arthas's story, as well as the pursual of. The pursual of Illidan would technically be part of the original Warcraft 3 baseline, but Frozen Throne basically focuses on the Lich King's storyline, which makes sense, Frozen Throne and all that. Plus, I believe it introduced the undead as a playable race whenever you were playing the RTS, which was one of my favorite races to play when you're duking it out. Having giant frost dragons, these bony dragons are flying around and obliterating everything.
Yeah.
Or having 200 fucking zombies just swarming in. Even if it's not strategic, it was comical.
Right.
Like Brandon would have say 30, very nice archers. But all of a sudden I would have what I always called the goon squad come swarming in around him, and he just gets encircled. And even, no matter how good they are, if you get overwhelmed by numbers, it, gets bad.
Eugene's a big fan of the Warcraft games, and I'm pretty sure a few months ago you're still playing some custom maps with one of his friends. I can't remember which specific Warcraft, but
probably Dota. Oh crap, did I break you, Nick?
Just a little bit. I don't know if there's a connection here.
Oh yeah, Warcraft 3. There was a version of it, a modded version of the game on Warcraft 3 called Defense of the Ancients. It was so popular that Ice Frog and a bunch of other people made a standalone game, which became Dota.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Once Valve became involved in all that stuff, they made it officially Dota 2. That's why it's called Dota 2, but there's no Dota 1 on their thing. And there was a lot of issues because obviously Blizzard wanted to protect their things, their character models, because they were using Blizzard characters in Dota.
Right.
And heroes and all that stuff. So eventually they had to rename all the characters and change some of the models and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how Dota 2 came to be. Was from a game mode in Warcraft 3.
And then the last game we have here is Space Quest that came out on the TRS-80, the US 1982.
Yep, I just wanted to throw an old school game out there.
And this was the oldest one on the list.
If you think about it, Warcraft 3, just that modded minigame started the whole MOBA series for the most part.
I feel like there is a game that like some other games that started off like that as mods, but I just can't put names to the actual thing, so it doesn't surprise me that happened, but I just didn't know that, so that's pretty cool. Eugene's very excited for the remastered Warcraft that's coming out soon, or eventually. I don't know if there's a release date, but yeah.
I haven't heard anything about it, and no offense to anything that's related to Blizzard and anything Warcraft related, or just any game that they're making that isn't Overwatch. I've been kind of wary about it.
Yep.
Heroes of the Storm and all that stuff, they're starting to backpedal a little bit.
Well, I mean, we already knew that they were cutting down on Heroes of the Storm, so it's not like it's a surprise that they're backpedaling from that, but they're not going to get rid of StarCraft because StarCraft is still playing money. They're not going to get rid of Overwatch because we have rumors of Overwatch 2, and then the Overwatch League is doing so well. We've got Classic WoW coming out soon. We've got Warcraft Remastered coming out soon. We know nothing about Diablo, but we all have mobile phones, so that's fine. Destiny's leaving Battle.net. Activision is still there, so we've got all the Call of Duty shit still there, so,
Just looking at Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is the new version of Warcraft 3 that they're talking about. It's going to be $30 for the normal edition. I really haven't really heard about this. I know it happened or what's happening. And they're saying it will release on or before December 31st, 2009. So they're saying it should come out this year.
Okay, money. That's fair.
And it's like, okay, yeah. And, well, shit, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to those 3 games. I'm still thrown off by Warcraft. Man, kind of want to play it now. Problem is, though, nowadays you would have to torrent the old version and make sure you have all the same versions, then link each other. I don't even know how to do it over Wi-Fi.
I'm sure Eugene will be able to walk us through it.
Yeah. If we could somehow set it up, would you play Warcraft 3?
Yeah. I used to fuck with the RTSs. Like, I played a lot of Age of Empires 2 and Age of Mythology, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I feel like we'd be better off just playing, like, StarCraft at that point, but, fuck it, I would be okay with Warcraft.
Well, I mean, we've got Age of Empires 2, like, full-on remastered coming out at some point, so I'd be down to play some of that.
I mean, that's been out, Nick.
No, like, didn't they announce they announced at E3, like, Age of Empires, like, HD remastered, too.
Yeah, look it up. Please, because I'm pretty sure Age of Empires 2, they have what is called the Definitive Edition. We still already have a remastered, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. The fuck am I talking? Oh, there's an Age of Empires 2 HD that's on Steam right now. Also, by the way, that's 75% off. That's $5. So they got an HD version of this game, but they got a definitive version of this also coming on Steam.
Yeah,
so take that for what you will.
Later this year, yeah.
So what is the difference between having an HD version of this game, which came out in 2013, or the definitive version? Because it says it's coming out in 4K versus probably 720.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably just some updated texture packs on the HD version that just makes it look a little prettier and not as dated. I would imagine the definitive edition coming out now probably will be made to look more modern.
Or for $5 right now, you can totally build a wander. I'm actually really looking hard at the Sea of Solitude. Anyways, Nick, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at LRWarrior11. Yeah, I'm gonna be at Guardian Con, so I'm gonna be AFK next episode. Yeah.
You got like a Snapchat or something? Because I know you don't use Snapchat, but I wanted to ask ironically.
I deleted it.
Apparently, good man. I'm so proud.
Yeah, I deleted my account. Yeah.
Okay, wow. That's
I just got the confirmation email yesterday. It's like, warning, your account's about to be deleted. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, peace out. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Save all the pictures, or you're supposed to delete? Privacy policy, my ass. Anyways, you can also find me on Twitter at 2timestyler, 2timestyler, one word, all letters. And you can also find our show, Casual Master Quest, on Twitter at MasterQuestPod. You can also email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com, where you can, be like Nick, who sent us a letter asking us, about games that we'd pay a premium for. We totally answer, as it turns out. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at Casual Master Quest. It'd be fairly simple, to look for us. And if you're just finding us in a way that isn't your standard podcast, feed setup, we're there too. Just search for us on your local thing, and we'll hopefully be there. If not, email us, because it's like, what the fuck? We're supposed to be there. What the hell happened? Fight you.
Oh, yeah, or if you just want to yell at us. Yeah, if you just want to yell at us.
Yeah, if you want to shout at the moon and accidentally put casualmasterquest@gmail.com in your moon yelling email, and we'll take you, darn you, moon, you're a waning crescent. I wanted a new moon. And
then we'll work you into our weekly show.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally be like our, we turned a scam artist email that's, computer generated, I'm pretty sure, into our news correspondent for 2 weeks. Yep. What could we do with what you say? It would be amazing. Give it a shot. And Nick, don't hesitate as well. Anyways, that was Nick. This is Tyler. Is there any last things before we say goodbye to you, Nick, for a week or two?
Happy 4th of July to everybody. Thank you very much for listening. I love you all.
Yeah, that's great. All right. The fact you had the fucking duck out and everything. Oh, shit, man. Next week, I will have Brandon, one of our honorary members of Casual Master Quest. Him and I will team up and shoot a bunch of shit about video games. We will definitely get goody about it. Anyways, we will see you next week, and don't forget to never stop the grind. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. The intro to the podcast, titled Casual Master Quest, was paid for and produced by the wonderful talent Revelries Music. You can find more of their work at soundcloud.com/Revelries Music, or just click on the link in the show descriptions. The background music is the album Top 50 Best Classical Piano Music by Brilliant Classics. You can find out more about Creative Commons at www.creativecommons.org/license/by/4.0.